This devastating news brought tears to the eyes of many. Roker has been a household name in millions of homes for decades. Cherished Today's show, a weatherman, isn't only famous for predicting beautiful skies and storms. He is renowned for his kindness, fortitude, and capacity to make each spectator feel like a member of his large family. I'll rarely let the public see the part of him that lay underneath his charisma, humor, and contagious laughter. Al, who is 71 years old, has come out with the fact that he kept to himself for a large portion of his life. And he said that his wife, Deborah Roberts, the award-winning journalist whose grace and courage have supported their family for more than 20 years, was the only one who ever recognized that fact without needing an explanation. Al and Deborah have always appeared to be the ideal couple from the outside. He is the welcoming visage that greets America every morning. She is a well-known journalist who is dedicated to telling stories that have meaning and a keen intellect. They appear to be unstoppable together. Al acknowledges that there was a protracted battle with what he kept hidden beneath that image: the anxiety of showing his weaknesses to others. Al recently disclosed in an open discussion that he had mostly concealed himself behind humor and professionalism during his adult life. He admitted that "I didn't want anyone to see me in pain, so I cracked jokes. I reasoned that if I continued to smile, nobody would notice how much I questioned myself. It has nothing to do with profession or fame. With perseverance and hard work, those came easily." Al had trouble trusting people, believing that even on the days when he didn't feel lovable, someone could love him unconditionally. During his health struggles, which included his highly public battle with cancer and life-threatening weight problems, that anxiety grew even more intense. Deborah, though, saw right through it all. She had known since the beginning of their relationship that there was more to Al's laughter than just happiness. It served as a shield as well. But rather than pressuring him to divulge more than he was prepared to, she gave him patience, which Al says is the best gift of all. He recalls a night following one of his surgeries when everything appeared more subdued and vulnerable than before. Deborah just held his hand as she sat by his bedside and read aloud to him as he fell asleep and woke up. There was no drama. It was not a scene from Hollywood. She was the only one present. It dawned on me then that I no longer needed to pretend. She loved me despite the fact that she already knew everything about me. Everything was altered by that insight. Al claims that he let himself rely entirely on someone else for the first time. Not as a public figure or broadcaster, but just as a man, a husband, and a father. Al's admission at age 71 is global rather than merely personal. It serves as a reminder that everyone has concerns about being fully seen, regardless of how well-known, successful, or well-liked someone may be. And those anxieties can ultimately be allayed by the silent power of love. Deborah married more than simply a TV celebrity. She wed the man in front of the camera, with all of his successes and all of his fears. By doing this, she gave Al the confidence to tell the truth to everyone, not just to herself. Fans will never forget Al as the grimy face that got them through festivities, snowstorms, and morning routines. However, demonstrating that vulnerability is strength rather than weakness may be his greatest contribution, because Al Roker's relationship with Deborah Roberts ultimately defines him more than his professional background. A love based on patience, trust, and the guts to be fully exposed. For many years, Al Roker has been a well-known and adored weather anchor and television personality. Al, who is well known for his friendliness, sense of humor, and strong bond with his viewers, has always brought happiness and optimism to the Today Show. In a heartbreaking admission at age 71, Al Roker made a statement that had viewers in tears and stunned. Al revealed a personal hardship that had been weighing heavy on his heart for the first time in his lengthy career, and the response was tremendous. During a recent appearance on the Today Show, Al made a very sensitive confession while maintaining his typical charm. He acknowledged that he had never talked candidly with his audience about a feeling of inadequacy and doubt that had plagued him for a large portion of his life. Al, who is well known for his exuberant personality and upbeat manner, disclosed that, despite his enormous success, he has frequently battled feelings of uneasiness and doubt behind the scenes. Al has always been regarded as a ray of hope and fortitude, so this confession was especially startling. He has conquered numerous personal obstacles over the years, like his health issues and family conflicts. But fans weren't prepared for this moment of unbridled vulnerability. Al clarified that he had doubted his value for reasons other than the demands of his job or his well-known public life. It was his dread of disappointing his loved ones and followers, the emotional toll of juggling personal matters, and the pressure to constantly be the happy face in front of the camera. He concealed these feelings for years because he didn't want anyone to notice the flaws in his seemingly flawless appearance. However, at the age of 71, Al realized that the burden of these unsaid emotions had grown too great for him to bear alone. Al admitted in his confession that Deborah Roberts, his wife, had always been his pillar of support. Long before anybody else did, Deborah, a reputable journalist in her own right, had learned of Al's difficulties. She had provided him with understanding, support, and unflinching love at all of his highs and lows. The only person who could always see through his facade and understand exactly what he was going through, according to Al, was Deborah. He praised her with giving him the courage to eventually open out to the public, saying that her calm strength and compassion had gotten him through his worst days. Fans have always appreciated the couple's connection, but many viewers were moved to tears when they heard Al talk so candidly about how Deborah had been his emotional compass. Al's vulnerability was evident from the sincerity and profundity of his statements. It was a reflection of a guy who had been bearing a great burden for a long time and was now prepared to let it go. Al's emotions were evident as he talked. He discussed the strain to constantly be the public person that people saw on TV, the person who had to maintain his grin and good attitude in spite of the difficulties he encountered off-screen. Al acknowledged that his mental and emotional well-being suffered as a result of this constant juggling act, and that he frequently felt as though he was living in two different worlds. One in which he was the amiable TV personality that everyone loved, and the other in which he was just a man attempting to manage the difficulties of his personal life. The impact was immediate, and the moment was unfiltered. Social media was used by supporters nationwide to show their appreciation for Al's courage and candor. Numerous others related their own experiences of battling mental health issues, self-doubt, and the demands of public life. Fans who had long respected Al's bravery but were unaware of the scope of the struggles he had battled in secret sent thousands of notes, demonstrating the incredible outpouring of love and support. Because it served as a reminder that even the individuals we most admire are fallible, Al's revelation struck a chord with a lot of people. Even though he was well known, Al had the same emotional problems as many of his audience members. He was more than just a well-liked TV personality. Like everyone else, he had genuine weaknesses, anxieties, and concerns. Al's message became evident as the episode went on. It's acceptable to say when you're having difficulties and to not have it all together. His bravery in speaking the truth was a potent emotional moment that dismantled the barriers between the audience and the celebrity and served as a reminder that everyone struggles, regardless of how they appear to the public. Fans were moved to tears by this heartfelt admission, not just because of the suffering Al had gone through, but also because of the ability of his vulnerability to heal. Al Roker allowed others to express their truth by sharing his tale. The answer demonstrated the value of being honest and the strong bonds that may be formed when we let ourselves be fully seen. A Roker statement serves as a reminder that vulnerability is a strength rather than a weakness in a society where perfection is sometimes expected. Al touched the hearts of millions when, at the age of 71, he finally found the strength to let go of the weight of secrecy. In addition to being seen as a turning point in his professional life, his confession will serve as a potent illustration of the value of emotional transparency and mental wellness. In addition to being a confession, Al Roker's emotional disclosure was a healing experience for the many people who could relate to his story. Additionally, his comments will continue to encourage others by demonstrating that it's never too late to be genuine, honest, and open to yourself. In order to ensure that you never miss another unique story about the people who inspire us the most, please remember to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell if this story inspired you.